Hey everybody, so you already know me, Amber here. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about the thing that I um, have most recently noted. Over the past, I think the month of January, right? So there's this trend that's going on where you know you could say plus size people or obese people, with no offense, are ordering scales and then they're recording the transformation journey towards weight loss. Of course, I think as a 2026 being super, skinny or super fat is the super obese, or obese in a sense is unhealthy. So I think I want to make a video on this and I want to talk about it and share my opinions on it. Even though they might not be very important. I think it's a good movement, right? It's a good thing. You are um, what's the word for it? Yeah, you are promising yourself for transformation, or you are working towards a goal, and you know some people are insecure about their bodies, how skinny they look, how fat they look, and you are like um I forgot what I was gonna say. You're like working towards bettering yourself or being healthy, which is nice. And I think this should keep going, in a sense that this trend should keep going, and people should um, record their journeys to make others also feel motivated. If you are, obese, and other obese people will come out of their shell to make content about this. And if you're skinny, other, and you are working towards a goal of getting bulk or getting eating healthy amounts of meals, people who are skinny, people who have eating disorders. I'm not judging you for being fat or having an eating disorder. Everyone has their own struggles, but when when a skinny person is making a video about their journey of health, eating, and overcoming the struggles, it makes others motivated to do the same. And same with obese people. If you are an obese person, you make a video, right? You order a scale, you unbox it, you do a before and after of your body, right? And then you weigh yourself, you show the camera how much you're weighing, and you post it on Instagram, or you post it on YouTube, of yourself cycling, running, or doing jogs, if you're an obese person, and of you working out consistently. This I think this applies to uh, both the struggles, being super skinny or underweight for your height, or being too obese, or so it applies to both. And I think my personal thoughts on this would be that they should keep going, because then it would encourage everybody else who is of that um, of you know obesity or skinniness or underweightness. And I think it is a good motive, it is a healthy motive towards bettering yourself, towards losing weight, towards becoming healthy, eating good, working out, and all that stuff. I think i think we should keep this going, keep this going to motivate other people, because you know everybody is way too self-conscious about their bodies. Like, for example, if I'm skinny, which I think I am, and like a little bit underweight, so when I'm going to swimming pools or something like that, or in the public, even in normal places, and I usually wear a jacket to hide my skinny arm, right? But I have been working towards it. I've been going to the gym. Anyways, my point being that people like me, skinny or sleeper builds or half skinny arms, they feel very self-conscious, no offense, very self-conscious about their bodies, that if they wear a jacket in public to cover their arms, they won't get judged more often with by people, because when I was skinny, I still am skinny, but I've put on a little bit of muscle, right? I think I was 30 kgs before, and now I'm 53, I think 54 kgs. Anyways, so when I was 30 kgs, I would get these comments, about my arms, about my body, about whether I eat or not, if I'm being starved. Some jokes that the wind would carry me away because I'm too skinny, and they would call me skeleton and everything. But that made me feel very insecure, and that's very inconsiderate of society. Anyway, so with this trend, people could feel, you know, um, people could feel confident in themselves and in pursuing a lifestyle or making the effort, making the effort to work towards and work towards a dream or basically I'd say a type of lifestyle they want to live, a type of body they want to have, or what kinds of healthy food they want to eat, whether it's chicken, rice, and avoid the junk food like fast food, just basically junk food, and then biscuits are junk food, and soda and other type of that stuff. So moving on to the real point, that when this kind of content, it surfaces, widely spreads and surfaces on the internet, so someone, whether it is someone obese or whether it is someone skinny, and they see a skinny person or obese person, you know working towards the goals and staying motivated to the goals, they also feel motivated, they feel comfortable, they do the research, and they get more, let's say, motivated toward the goal, right? So I think that this is good. Yes, in my opinion, this is good, and we should spread more of this. And I've been seeing it a lot with um, fat people, obese people, plus size people. No offense meant to you guys. Working towards a healthy lifestyle. I am proud of you. If you are skinny, or if you are fat, or if you are underweight or obese, I have no judgment for you. All right, I have no offense against you. I am proud of you because I also struggle. I still struggle with being underweight. I think I'm still underweight. I need to be 77 or something for a 5'5" person. And I think what you're doing, if you are watching this, if you are a skinny person or if you are a obese person, working towards a goal to be healthy, right? Then I am proud of you, and you should continue, and you should not let other people basically judge you or put you down. They are jerks, they are assholes. They are, you know, they like to pick on other people. And even if they do make jokes, you listen through one ear and you take it out the other ear, because why would you let it affect you if you are working towards being healthy? When you work towards being healthy, people will slowly change their demeanor towards you, right? Because um, you are working on yourself, right? You're working towards bettering yourself, losing weight, being healthy, eating good, right? Eating more fill than you usually do, right? So my question is, why would you let a person who is way in over their head, judge you? And I've seen this happen a lot in society, in in the world, right? Um, Obese people being made jokes about, or um, skinny people are made jokes about. It's not cool. It's very disrespectful of society as in itself. But what can we do? What we can do is that we can ignore these ignorant people who are way over the heads and they're healthy or something, or they are bullies in a sense, or they are outright bullies, you can ignore them because you know there's another saying that why would you let I'm gonna provide a scenario for you that if someone is full of themselves and they are a bully and they like bullying other people, why would you let such a person, why would you let such a person hinder your progress or make jokes about you? You can't help them. You can't help them or stop them from making jokes about you, but you can ignore those jokes, right? And then, like I said, with bullies, if you ignore them, they'll just back off. This might be uh, some really bad advice, but my point being is, yes, this is good, and you should continue it, and you should not let bullies or bigoted people or people who are way in over the heads judge you, right? And same goes with race, with um, obesity or being skinny. You can change that, right? You can change that, that. But um, with race is something you can't change. If you are dark skinned, or if you are light skinned, if you are Chinese, Asian, or you are Indian or Pakistani, race or culture or uh, race or culture, yeah, your ethnicity, where you are from, you are Pakistani, you are Ukrainian, or you are Russian, you cannot let others judge you. Where you are born, you cannot change where you are born, right? You can't change your skin color. It's all natural, right? And for that, I think you should love yourself because all skin colors are beautiful, and there is no race prejudice, right? There is no prejudice about race because there is no, people use harsh words for, I can't repeat them, for dark skinned people or for Asians, Chinese, Russians, Indians. You can't let that ever affect you because you are who you are and you're beautiful. And I'd say that it is ethnicity, race, or where you're born is not something you can change, right? And of course, where you live, people might be really cruel or indecent or disrespectful or bullies, but every country has its flaws. Like, I live in Pakistan, right? So I live in Pakistan and I've met a lot of horrible people, a lot of people with their big egos and their bully like nature, right? So you don't need to let that ever bother you, because yes, sure, you are self conscious about your skin, you're self conscious about your ethnicity, your race, your where you are born, right? But who isn't insecure? Who isn't self conscious? Everyone is self conscious, but the thing is that no one is looking at you. There are gonna be respectful people you find who are gonna accept you for your race, for your ethnicity, for your skin color, for your whatever else. If you are fat, someone will still accept you for being fat. That's a thing. That's a decent human thing to do. Anyway, for example, if I'm from Pakistan and one person hates me for being a Pakistani and says I'm a terrorist, I'm a child marrier, or whatever else that happens, there will always be a person who finds Pakistani cool. And then if you're American and someone hates Americans, there's gonna be a person who finds America cool. And for example, I'm gonna talk about another point where if Karachi, if in the city in Pakistan has bad tourist guidelines or too much trash, for example, people litter too much, there is always gonna be a person who will find that specific city really cool, you know, really cool despite the flaws, despite the issues and the problematic people and the bullies and all that. And I'd say that I realized that no country has ever achieved a proper infrastructure or a proper um, yeah, a proper infrastructure or proper people, because bullies and bigots and racists, and and stuff like that, they exist everywhere, right? So, like, if you basically think that, if let's use me as example, if I think that um, in Pakistan some person named Ali, right, he is hating on me, he's calling me the N-word, he's calling me other derogative insults, and I'm going to think everyone in Pakistan is bad. I'm giving an example, and everyone outside in America or Germany or Russia is good. But that is a lie. I mean, that is a bit of a lie, because if you go to America, or if you go to Germany, if you go to Russia, if you go to any other country, you will meet the same people, right? The same people who are going to be way more harsh than the ones you've met in your home country. So my second point being is that nowhere you will not find 100% popularity of good people in another country, right? And you should love your home country, because bad people exist everywhere. There is no chance that the majority will be good to you and the minority will be bad, and the minority will not be bad at all, because um, bad people exist wherever you are born, wherever you are raised, or wherever you go to. There are always going to be someone who wants to take advantage of you, who wants to insult you, wants to make jokes about you, who wants to call you racist remarks, and who wants to hate on you for where you are born. All of that hateful, negative stuff, it exists everywhere. I'm going to say a quote that if you are if a person is in one cage, and for example, that person is a tiger, right? He's in one cage with lions, right? And lions are pushing him around, they are bullying him, right? And then if the tiger switches his cage to make it, you know, if he switches to go into a cage full of tigers, then the tigers are gonna insult him too, because they will call him a runt, or they will call him a failure for the race, right? Anyway, so think of the world as a cage, right? Think of the countries as a cage. You're in one cage and you're stuck with lions, right? And then the lions are being cruel to you, and if you switch the cage with the same people as you, those people are gonna do the same to you, right? The same thing. And then if you switch to another cage with the birds or the gorillas or the what other animals are there? Penguins, right? So the penguins will also judge you, right? For example, you go into the gorilla's cage, right? And then you're a tiger and you're not a gorilla. And gorilla is brute force. Gorilla means brute force, and you're not brute force. You're a tiger, right? So the gorilla will obviously he will insult you and he will judge you for not being as brute as him. And then if you go into the bird cage, right, with the birds will judge you for not being able to fly or swim underwater to catch fish. And then if you go into the penguin's cage, the penguins will judge you for um, being orange and orange with black stripes instead of white and black, like a penguin is white and black. So they will judge you for that. Anyways, thank you for listening to me, and make sure to subscribe. Yeah, that was my point, and I hope it gets to people, and I hope it makes a difference on society, and makes um, I guess it makes people realize the truth about who they are, accept themselves, whether they are fat, skinny, um, dark skinned, light skinned, Asian, Japanese, or Pakistani, or whatever else, skinny, fat, whatever. You have to love yourself. You come above other people. For example, uh, if a tiger, no, if a leopard You know, if a leopard is high speed, right? Um, a hyena won't tell him how to run fast, right? Because cheetahs, cheetahs have an cheetahs or leopards have an environment where have a skill, for example, where they run, run fast. So a bird who flies, or a bird who flies, what else is there? A penguin or a fish who swims will not tell the leopard or cheetah how to run fast, because birds can fly. Birds are not running, except for ostriches which run. Ostriches who run, right? And then penguins swim, right? And penguins walk. They can't run. They won't tell the leopard or cheetah that how to run. Because that running field is his own. He invented that field, or he chose that field because it's his own. It is his own. It has its own strength suit, right? It has its own strong suit. And same with penguins. Penguins walk and penguins swim as well. So they would not tell the cheetah how to run. So think of yourself as a cheetah and think of the world as birds and penguins and fishes. They swim, they fly, they walk, but they can't tell you how to sprint, how to run like a cheetah, right? Use that as a metaphor and think of yourself as that and love yourself. Anyway, thank you for watching and hearing my very long pep talk. I think pep talk, yes. And I hope this helps people realize who they are, and that I'm gonna use a small personal um, example, because I am an introvert, right? And I have a hard time getting along with people, getting to know people, getting to hold conversations. But recently, I've accepted that loneliness is not a flaw, and that's basically, I've been reading novels as well, like Dostoevsky. I read White Nights, right? White Nights with the lonely narrator, and that's when I got that loneliness is not really a flaw. Some people are extroverted and some people are introverted, and some like to be alone. They can talk to people, they can get along with people, but they mostly prefer to be alone, right? And loneliness, I found out that it's not really a flaw. It's really not a flaw. If it's something is a flaw, if you make it a flaw, right? I'm lonely, and then I think that I I perceive a mindset that I'm not introverted and everybody hates me. That's why I'm alone, and that would be wrongful thinking. It would be considered as a wrongful way of thinking that everybody hates me because I cannot talk to them. I cannot conversate with them. I am introverted as hell. I get so scared to talk to people. Those four things are there, or more things are there, to being a lonely introverted person who likes solitude, right? But it does not automatically not the point that others hate you or despise you. They might like your company, they might think you're chill and you're calm, and they like that about you. Anyway, I've made it too long, and that's about it. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to me talk and rant. Yeah, this is basically ranting, I think. But I hope this helps you out, and I hope this changes the mindset of those people who are struggling with self love and all that stuff, with loneliness and extrovertedness. If you are extroverted, right, that means you have a good compatibility with people and you talk to them, right? You can talk to them and you can deeply understand them, right? That is extrovertedness, in my opinion. And introvertedness is that you are basically in your own mind. You are focusing on your own mind, and you are preferring to be alone more than surrounded by people. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. That's about it. Goodbye.